So what do you guys think so far? It's pretty cool, right? I'm pretty much amazed at how well executed this was. I'm sure people are going to complain about certain things, but I really don't think there's room for improvement. I mean, it's pretty much perfect in my opinion. Probably the only downside would be the legs back here, which I know is a complaint of a lot of people, but it's really not too bad. You know, it's a lot better than the original Popey, so it's not too bad. I guess I'm kind of used to looking at it that way, but it's fine. If you really are bothered by that, you can just unscrew them from here, which would just leave round circles anyway, so whatever. I think it's fine the way it is. I guess I can show you guys the articulation. So you got the head up here, same articulation as Atlas when he's normal, except he's got a bigger head, so it's pretty much the only difference. And same thing with Atlas, you got the clicky joints here. You also got this extra range here. Oh, and of course the arms do go up, and they are a nice ratchet. As far as the arms go, you have the swivel here, and then you have the elbow, which is, you know, possible due to the fact that the fist on Atlas folds up, as you saw earlier. So you get that, and obviously this is going to be on a ball joint, which allows, you know, good amount of movement for the fist. Again, no waist joint, but you do have these flaps which allow the, you know, the leg movement up if you really need it that much. And the only disappointment is really the knee, which you know, is kind of expected for this type of design. But you know, it kind of looks stupid bending his knee anyway. So most likely you'll just pose him normal. Then another piece of articulation is here at the hips. You just basically move these flaps out of the way and you get a pretty decent amount of range there. Not too crazy. That gives you a chance to check out the joints there in the crotch. And you'll see this swivel piece on the thigh, which is really cool, I think. Gives a lot of range there. And then you have this ankle, which is floating, as you can see there, which kind of doesn't look too cool, but you can always move the joint that way. Kind of fills up the space there, although it would have been nice to have, you know, something in there to block it off. But so no side-to-side movement on the foot here, but you do have it up on the thighs. And that's pretty much it for articulation. So we can go ahead and get into his weapons, right, and his accessories. Let's actually start with the non-weapon accessories. He does have alternate hands. He's got these two weapon holding hands, and you'll see that one has a smaller opening than the other, depending on what you're using. And then he's got this open hand. And these hands are pretty well sculpted, I think. These are my favorite type of hands for robots. Now first up, as far as weapons, we have this sword here, which has a very nice thick chrome to it. And we're going to go ahead and put this on, see what it looks like. But what you have to do first is actually pull his fist off. And you'll see that it's on a little ball joint there. And then we'll attach the weapon holding hand. Pop that in, and now we're able to use the sword. So you simply place the sword in the hand, and now you've got Daltanious with his sword. Now next, he's also got a weapon which is basically blades that come out of this section here. So if you want to replicate that, what you want to do is pop this off, pull that ring off, and then you just grab the alternate bladed rings, which is this here. Okay, then you simply just snap it in, and you can go ahead and pop that back on. So he's got that there. Now you get two of these, so you can, you know, do that on the other hand if you choose. Next, I'm going to show you guys his shield, which is this bad boy here, which is the sand crab looking shield. which is detailed purple, metallic purple up here, some green dots here. The detail continues onto the back. Now to use this, you're going to want to attach this little handle here. Then you simply place it in his hand, like so. And to complete the look, you're obviously going to want to place the sword here. So, very nice. Now the next weapon we have here is this bow, which has a little action feature there. Now to use this, you're going to want to attach this big handle, but what you're going to want to do is put this through the fist first and then attach the top. I'll show you guys how to do that. So you simply take the handle, place it up into the hand, and next you slide that on. So you got that there. And you can actually, I don't know exactly how, he's supposed to hold this part in his hand, and that's how he would basically move this back and forth if he was real, causing these bows to open and close. Now he obviously would shoot something out of there, and I'll show you guys that. He's got this cool chrome arrow here. Now when I say he would shoot something out of that, I meant that not literally. I meant he would normally be able to shoot that, but you know, we're talking about modern toy here, so you're going to have to simulate that. You take off the end of the arrow and you simply slide it in. Just tab it in there, and then you have the arrow on the weapon. Now, would you guys believe I almost forgot to show you one of his coolest weapons, which is a flaming sword. Don't know how the hell I could forget this, but I'm going to go ahead and show you that. And what's cool about Daltanious using this flaming sword is that they've, you know, worked a way to have him hold it with both hands. So let's show you that. Now to use the sword, you're going to want to take the handle off. Okay, so now you just have the flame. And you also need to pose his hands by bringing the arms up and elbows over. And you'll see his hands come together nicely. Next, you will insert the handle into the hands. Try and line up both hands together. And once you got the handle in there, you're going to want to go ahead and place the rest of the sword. So we can get him to look at the camera. It's the best I can do. He is rather tall, so I can't really fit the entire figure on the screen with my limited space, but you get the idea. Looks really cool with his sword, and I'm glad they made him posable enough to be able to hold the sword. Now, aside from those bits I just showed you, he does actually have one more bit of accessory, which is almost seems like an afterthought to me, but he's got this the cross here, which you would stand right in front of him, creating the cross effect. Although it's really just a piece of plastic with a very faint, you know, cross paint application there, and a little clear stand. And now for all you lovers of stands and, you know, accessory holding pieces, it does have this here which you have to put together. But you know, while I was looking at the instructions for that, I realized there's a lot of cool things in this booklet, which I want to show you guys before we wrap this up. And this booklet is actually full color. It's got a bunch of Japanese I can't read, but I like looking at pictures, and this has a lot of pictures. So even though I don't know what it's saying, it's probably really cool stuff. I'll just have to look at the pretty pictures. And it's got some you know, mechanical drawings here, some illustrations. I guess these are, you know, drawings that they work off of when making a show. And what's of interest to me is this rocket punch right here. And then he's got the little bow arrow thing there, the flaming sword, and a nice oil painting or watercolor here of Daltanious, which is more reminiscent of the Popey Godaikin version. And a couple snapshots of the show, and more line art, and, you know, illustrations of the actual figures included. A lot more illustrations, and then you finally get to the accessory parts here and figures that are included, and the instructions, which are not full color but line drawing on glossy paper. So figure you guys might enjoy that. So let's get back to the stand. Okay, so here's a stand I was telling you guys about that I was going to show you guys how to put it together. So it's comprised of 4 pieces. I got the first main piece here. Then it's got these walls here. Just have to figure out which side they go on. These two look pretty identical, but one has a little tab here. So that one is going to go here on the left. Place that there. Place this one here. And then we got the little ceiling one here. So snap that in. Make sure it's nice and tight. Now you have the main base for the parts. So I'm going to go ahead and put all those parts together and show you the end result. Alright, so after about 15 minutes of your life putting this together, you're left with this, which is pretty much a big pile of parts. So it's got a spot for really everything. I mean, you got the blade wrist forearm things here, you got the sword, you got the little blades for Gumper, you got all the hands and fists up top, you got the blades for Atlas here, you got that cool arrow, you got the handles for the shield here, you have the shield out back. You'll see Valarios's blaster there, shoulders, the bow, the fire sword, the back leg panels for Atlas, the handle for the bow, and of course Atlas's head and his little blade pieces for his forearms down here, which don't really attach very well. You can just mess them up, and this pretty much falls off. So before we wrap it up, guys, I wanted to show you the best I can do to basically imitate the original Popey Godaikin. Basically what I did is I left the big head on, and I also pulled the tail out. So you'll see it here next to its vintage counterpart, and oh yeah, and I also did the blasters on there also. And if you really want to go all out, you can even add the fins back on, just like the original figure. And I took the shoulders off and I posed him straight. So as you can see, he mimics it very well. And what we'll do now is bring out an original. So that way you can compare it side by side. And you'll see that it is very close to the original. And keeping the legs together. These legs always touch. But you can see it does a pretty good job of mimicking the look, just in case you want it that way. So since it's about time to wrap this up and end the review, I guess I'll leave you guys with my thoughts. Really, if you guys disagree with the fact that it's awesome, just let me know in the comments below. But as you can see, it's very well made. Details are excellent. Transformation is straightforward but very well done. And the overall finish of the figure, just the way it was executed, in my opinion, it is very good. Paint apps are excellent, especially the bronzing of the lion mane here. As far as bad, there's really nothing bad. I kind of pointed out the maybe the legs back here might bother a few people. The lack of regular ankles, but I'm sure it can be forgiven for its design, since it doesn't look too bad. And if there's anything negative aside from that, it's really just the price. I mean, this guy's not cheap. You can go from anywhere from $220 to, I've seen people pay up to $300, maybe even more. But pricing aside, I highly recommend this figure. I mean, it's great. So I hope you guys enjoyed the review, and I'll be back with more. Bye.